What's that smell? Ah, yes, the smell of cow manure. That must mean we're in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the most boring places you can live. It has high taxes, long, gray, brutal winters, and it's home to rusty cars that need front-end alignments, factory closings, and some really bad attitudes. But can you blame them? The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is a beautiful state and a depressing state. It's very historic in some parts and cutting edge in other areas. Some people are welcoming, some are plain rude. So you guys, grab a cheesesteak, a lager of Yingling, and watch out for those potholes, because in this video, we'll be unboxing the great state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a very diverse state, culturally and regionally. Basically, the Keystone State can be split up into 6 areas: the Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest, South Central, and North Central. Yeah, it's confusing. Compared to other states in the region, Pennsylvania probably has more in common with Maryland or West Virginia than it does New York. Unlike other states in the Union, locals refer to the Keystone State by its abbreviation, PA. This is true across all regions of the state. But you know what's not common across all regions of the state? Once born, Pennsylvanians have to pledge undying allegiance to Wawa or Sheetz. Because Wawa and Sheetz aren't just any ordinary gas station convenience stores. Wawa and Sheetz are a one-stop shop for made-to-order meals, gourmet coffee, clean bathrooms, and conversations. Pennsylvanians would marry Wawa and Sheetz if they could.
We're ice cold when you need it, so get to Wawa when you're hot, hot, hot.
This summer, get the Wawa.
Get to Wawa!
Pennsylvanians love their local food. Favorites in this state are pierogies, scrapple, pot pies, pretzels, and a bag of Utz potato chips. Of course, you'd wash it all down with a Yingling. Lots of people in PA are from a long line of steelworkers or coal miners. Not everyone in Pennsylvania has a relative that works or has worked in these steel or coal industries, but many do, especially in central PA. Everybody in PA has also had at least one near miss with a deer in the last week. In many parts of Pennsylvania, there's a pretty good chance you'll hit or be hit by a deer. In fact, Pennsylvanians are experts in how to hit a deer safely. Sorry, Bambi. So, great food, great people, and lots of wildlife in Pennsylvania. What about the Amish? Pennsylvania has the nation's second highest overall number of Amish at an estimated 69,000 people. Lancaster County has the most Amish people in the state. In fact, half of the world's Amish population lives in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. As such, it's not uncommon to turn a corner on a country road and practically hit an Amish family on their way to do Amish things.
Did you know Pennsylvania is the second state ever?
I did not know that, Mappy, but yes, you're right about that. Pennsylvania became a state way back in 1787, just 5 days after Delaware became our first state. As such, this state is ripe with traditions. It's home to the Liberty Bell, which was first rung in 1776 to celebrate the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. Independence Hall in Philadelphia is the building where both the U.S. Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were debated and adopted. And of course, Pennsylvania is home to Gettysburg, one of the most famous battles in all of American history. As a result of the state's long and storied history, Pennsylvanians tend to be very stuck in their ways and resistant to change. Of course, you can't talk about Pennsylvania without addressing the fact that many, or most of its residents, are chronically unhappy. Pennsylvanians are particularly subject to Stockholm Syndrome, where everybody hates the state, yet nobody ever leaves. For instance, Scranton and Wilkes-Barre were called the most unhappy places in the country. Ask lots of other Pennsylvanians what they think of their town or borough, and they'll say they hate it, but they stay nonetheless. Many drink alcohol or take drugs to cope. The local favorite's Yingling, a lager bottled in Pottstown, PA. But while other states are decriminalizing pot, Pennsylvania is far behind when it comes to catching up with other states when it comes to Commonwealth liquor laws. What about the weather? As a whole, Pennsylvania gets the 19th most amount of snow per state each year. But it seems like they get way more than that, to be honest. The western side of the state, especially in areas around Lake Erie, get the most snow each year. State College averages 45 inches of snow annually, Pittsburgh gets about 40 inches, and Harrisburg gets about 38 inches of snow every year. While you're driving around in the snow all winter here, you're likely to be paying a lot for gas. That's because Pennsylvania has the highest gas taxes in all of America. A gallon of gas has like 70 cents a tax on it. Much of that money goes to repair all of the state's millions of potholes. Haha, JK, they don't fix the potholes in PA. Now that we've done a cursory glance over the state as a whole, let's take a look at some of the big cities in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is one of the most historic cities in the United States. Of all of the PA stereotypes, Philadelphia, affectionately known as Philly, is probably the most distinct. To an outsider, Philadelphians could be considered to have an attitude problem. How rude! It's quite possible that all Philadelphians are blunt, rude, and just generally mean people. After all, the state once mandated etiquette school for Philly's cab drivers. But how could a city with the nickname Brotherly Love possibly be mean? Philly may be blunt at times, but they like to think of it as brutally honest rather than rude. But don't worry, they don't care what you and I think about them anyways. It's also dangerous in Philadelphia. Its crime rate is far above average when compared to other large cities, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And then there's Eagles fans. Remember Philly's post-Super Bowl celebration? It was a riot. No, like an actual riot. Philadelphians are considered the most ruthless sports fans in the country. These are the same people who threw snowballs at Santa Claus during a football game one time. Veterans Stadium actually housed its own courtroom and jail for dealing with unruly Eagles fans. They even tried banning the sale of alcohol at games, but that didn't work. While the new Lincoln Financial Field, or the Link, doesn't have a court, it does have a holding cell. Now, Philadelphians definitely have a distinct way of talking. Instead of y'all, they say use or use guys.
Did you know the Philadelphia accent has been voted the ugliest accent in the country?
That's right, Mappy, I heard that. Philadelphia actually topped Memphis and Atlanta for having the worst accent in the nation. What you got there, little buddy?
I got a hoagie. I got it at Wawa.
I bet you did. Enjoy, little Mappy. Speaking of hoagies, Philadelphians don't call subs subs. They're hoagies. They also put jimmies on their ice cream, not sprinkles. And in Philly, you don't get a glass of water, you get a glass of water. Philadelphians love Rocky, too. The only thing they possibly love more than Rocky is cheesesteak. They do have the best cheesesteaks in the world, and they know it. Now on the complete opposite side of the state sits Pittsburgh. Just like Philadelphia, people from Pittsburgh tend to talk a little funny. Philadelphians are users, and Pittsburghers are yinsers. Yins is the Pittsburgh version of y'all. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Everything is black and yellow in Pittsburgh. Outsiders might not make the connection, but the iconic black and yellow colors adorn the uniforms of every major sports team in the city. They're also the colors most likely to be found in Pittsburghers' closets. Driving in Pittsburgh can be confusing and downright terrifying for non-locals. It's an unavoidable series of potholes. There's even a number you can call to report them, they're so bad. And here, you'll find the Pittsburgh Left, which isn't a political party. No, the Pittsburgh Left is when people try to anticipate a light and quickly turn left before the people going straight can go. Seriously, it's not remotely legal, even in Pittsburgh. That's probably the reason Pittsburgh is towards the top of all Pennsylvania cities for car accidents. And we have to mention the Pittsburgh parking chairs, or parking spot dibs. In most normal cities, if you see an old chair sitting on the curb, you would assume the chair is out for the garbage. However, a Pittsburgh parking chair is put there to prevent you from parking in what somebody considers to be their spot. This causes fights like all winter long. All this being said, Pittsburghers are extremely tough. You can't scare them, not even when a blizzard rolls through. A generation ago, Pittsburghers were mostly blue-collar steelworkers. Nowadays, however, Pittsburgh is probably the best example of an American city where people showed their resiliency and repurposed themselves in the wake of an economic downturn. Now, Pittsburgh is somewhat thriving as a result.
Ring, ring. Hello? Hello, this is Dwight Schrute from the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. Wow, that's great, because I need paper.
Most people probably only know Scranton exists because of the TV show The Office. Scranton's true claim to fame is the fictional Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, making it a mecca for fans of The Office. The residents tend to embrace it. There are some other major cities in Pennsylvania. Places like the capital, Harrisburg, which is boring, or Erie, which is boring. Not much to talk about in those places. As for the rest of Pennsylvania, A bunch of farms and trailer parks. Just kidding. Sorta. Rural central Pennsylvania is pretty unique. James Carville once said that Pennsylvania is Philadelphia and Pittsburgh with Alabama in between. There's a reason they call it Pennsyltucky. With large concentrations of country folk, you'll likely see a lot of rednecks wearing camouflage with full-grown beards. They'll be driving pickup trucks with gun racks and blasting country music. They love to hunt out here, so much that the first day of hunting season is treated with a holiday and the kiddies get to take the day off from school. In fact, Pennsylvania leads the nation with the most hunters per capita at 20 per square mile. Outside of hunting, you can find these central PA country bumpkins watching NASCAR, shopping at Walmart, and working at the nearby factory. That is, if it's still standing. Of course, to be fair, many of these mountainy communities in Pennsylvania are rural and isolated because it's hard to build communities in these areas due to the terrain. They are hard workers for the most part and pitch in and help one another through tough winters. They're good folk. Of course, we could talk about how many people hate Hazleton, how much Shenandoah has gone downhill, and how many overdoses there are in Wilkes-Barre. And we didn't even touch on how Pennsylvania jobs have been exported to China and Mexico, how the middle class has been decimated here, and sadly, how in many Pennsylvania communities, drugs and crime are rampant. Maybe we'll do that in another video. Well, we promised you a quick look at Pennsylvania. We showed you some good, some bad, and some boring. If you like to pay exorbitant amounts at the gas pump, or like drowning in snow every year, then Pennsylvania might be the right place for you. If not, join the other smart former Pennsylvanians and get the hell out of there. After all, there's 49 other states to choose from. The end. Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.